been quite an interesting week. Happy New Year. Let's Be Real has been on a break for some time, but we are back big, better, and of course with interesting conversations where we unpack for you stories really unfiltered. And of course is a panel that left it last year at a high, and we started on a very high note again, telling you what's happening in geopolitics in Kenya and beyond. And of course, the beautiful lady is here. So I'm CEO Charles Otieno, of course, you know me. And of course, the beautiful lady and a guest today, the beautiful lady.
Mm-hmm. Dr. C here.
Yes.
From Samantha's Bridal, Samantha yes. Wines. I hope you had a beautiful Christmas break. Mm-hmm. You can see I'm in red to remind people of Valentine's is loading. Valentine is coming. Valentine. Where is your boyfriend? Isn't it?
And if you're dumped?
There's so many. It's for a day.
Oh.
We'll talk about being dumped.
Yeah, we'll talk about being dumped. It's always interesting. Manu.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself to the audience. You've been on a sports show. Now you are on the Real Issues show.
Real Issues.
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Emmanuel Ntoyai,
yes.
Entertainment and lifestyle journalist here at The Standard.
Yeah.
I do Standard Nairobian columns, where I normally talk about normal issues affecting common people. And I'm very happy to be here with you guys today.
Some of them very scandalous. Nairobian is really scandalous.
Yeah.
Are you behind those titles?
Not really, but something in there. You know, it's a teamwork.
I buy it. It's a good newspaper.
It's a good newspaper. So, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest conversation today is Uganda. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is running for the seventh term. Yoweri became a president in 1986. Now it's 40 years later. He's running for presidency, and one of the things which happened yesterday, before the counting began, the state spokesman for the presidency said that Ugandans should vote and go home. They should not sit at the polling station to guard. There's nothing to guard. The vote. So the question is, will Museveni allow anyone to defeat him? Or do you think that this is a gone case, Dr. C?
Well, perhaps Museveni has done what he's done for the last, this is his 40th year in power. Seventh term, but 40th year.
Yes.
He's 81 years old.
Yeah.
And whether he does not, perhaps I'll divulge a bit and not perhaps answer your question directly. Because that question is for Ugandans to learn their lesson and do what they're supposed to do. But for me, from where I'm seated, I want to take a bird's eye view and give it a more global approach. In terms of the lessons, I think all of us must learn from the issue, what's happening in Uganda. Number one, is that you've seen the opponent, Bobby Wine. He's so deeply entrenched with the younger voters, the younger people, and that's why, you know, like the internet is off, all these things are off. But it goes to show that actually the Gen Zs are so disconnected from the liberation era politicians. And I think a big lesson is for anyone in leadership today is for them to know that you cannot take this generation wherever you are in the world. You cannot take them for granted. They are coming and they are in large numbers and they want opportunities. But also secondly, what we should learn is the fact that the independence of institutions. The fact that if you don't have very strong institutions, you end up where Uganda has ended up now, because they are in this space where all the institutions are not working. And that's why, you know, you switch on from this digital era, they were going to vote biometrically, all those things collapsed, and now they have to go and do manually all these things. There's massive allegations from human rights and also even the UN, massive voter rigging apparently. What is going on. But also the other things to understand that the much as we also invest in digital, it can also be used to give blackouts. So we are so reliant, like nowadays, on Twitter, on all these things.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, on all these things. What else? Like we need, but it takes me back to fighting for freedoms and strengthening institutions such that wherever you are in the world, whichever country, this can happen to any country where the digital system is disabled. You joke around with the what is that verification they were using? Not manual, the other one they were using.
The election verification.
The election verification. Those machines stopped working, so they went back
Team
to
kits.
manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones. And then the biometric voting, it just collapsed. And then Twitter, everything is disabled. So there's no communication, no nothing. So if you had a strong communications institution that says, no, we will not turn this off. Then you have a very strong elections body that says, no, we are going to have independent elections. Then you have a very strong military and police force that says, no, we're going to have fair elections. Then Museveni would just be elected in a very transparent way, and he would rule back again if that is what Ugandans want. I rest my case.
Manu.
Yeah. You know, it's very funny because for young people, technology is a big enabler when it comes to mobilization. And the political class apparently has known that if we disable the means of communicating in between these people, the young people, you'll throw them into disarray. And this is what has been happening. I mean, they switched off the internet. We could not get information on what is happening out there. And the young people in Uganda, they could not even communicate to the rest of the world. And this is something that is not just even in Uganda. This is something that we've seen even in Tanzania, it was used. In other countries like Iran, we saw it being used. So it being used to crash down opposing voices. And you see, this mostly affects the young people because you'll see, like, we'll say boomers, they don't have a place of technology when it comes to electoral processes or something. For them, they know it's just about them, the ballot, casting their ballot and going home. But when it comes to information, actually getting to know what is happening, getting to know if it's a malpractice that is being done somewhere, we can't even tell what is happening. And you saw what actually happened to us guys, I mean, KTN.
Yeah, they blocked it.
What they did with DSTV, I mean, they just told us, like, we can't be on air because, yeah, being the home of the bold, they expect us to talk about these issues. So technology is something that the political class has been using for a while. And I think for Kenyans, during the Maandamano period, so we became a little bit innovative. There were some apps that we were able to use to make sure that we were able to communicate and mobilize. So for Ugandans, I mean, it's a sorry time for them at the moment, and we can only watch and see what's going to unravel.
Interesting observation about the political from you and Dr. C. And I will start maybe to add by saying that there's a poem by Gibral, Khalil Gibral. It's called The Fear.
Yes.
The fear, it starts by saying that when the river,
And the source.
when the river tries to enter the sea, it is always very fearful because of the journey it has traveled. It remembers how far. It's a fantastic poem. That the river, when it enters, when you see when the river meets the sea, it is engulfed with fear because he sees a very vast ocean ahead. And he doesn't know what will happen to it, not knowing that it will become the sea.
Part of the sea.
So it remembers the journey it has traveled. So Museveni is like that river who has gone very far from the far. He doesn't know when he faces the new Gen Z. He doesn't know when he gives them a better platform. He will be one of their heroes.
Yes.
He doesn't. So how does he react? He reacts by muzzling them. He reacts by blocking because of that fear. So Khalil Gibran talks about the fear of the river, and that's the fear Museveni is suffering from. And there's a new book by Mamdani, the father of the New York governor.
Mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor, my father, Mamdani.
Or originally Ugandan.
Is Ugandan.
Yeah.
And the book was released this week. It's called Slow Poison. And if you read the first chapter, and I've started reading it, it talks about the poison that has killed Uganda. And it talks about how it was planted by the European who colonized us. There are some people, they were called the Marshall tribes. The Marshall tribes were the Kakwas, Idi Amin tribe. They were told, if you allow the colonial government to go down, you will lose your status. So your job is to protect the colonial government. So the slow poison talks about what has been ailing Uganda, why Uganda has not been growing for a very long time. And it's about Museveni, it's about Obote, and it's about Amin. A very interesting read from this week. So my point is, the Ugandans have to wake up from slow poison. And the slow poison was planted a long time ago. Museveni is still continuing with the rule of what was planted. The constitution, the independent constitution, which is outdated, which does not recognize the youth. And the youth have grown up and saying that we need to change how we are governed. Our voting is the first position. Let us vote openly. And I don't know why he's fearful, because if you look at the composition of Ugandan electorates, the majority of them, by far and wide, still support Museveni. Far and wide. Because this ethnicity problem, which also we struggle with in Kenya. If you look at the Ugandan political landscape, you'll see that most of the northerners and the westerners and the southwesterners will support Museveni. Then the central Uganda will support Bobi Wine and the youth vote. So it's not, it's like trying to rig what you can actually still win comfortably if you put it, not with the high margin, because it's a simple majority. Simple majority is if you have 2,000 and have 3,000 have won. It's not like in Kenya, which we have 50 plus 1. But Museveni is not willing, because we call them the trinity of terror. Wow. They don't want to let the other youth express themselves. So Uganda's problem, first of all, is their constitution. The second one is a leadership which is not attuned to the new generation. And that's what Museveni represents. And the thirdly is the fear, the way Gibral says. And Kenyans should read that book.
I'm going to look for it. I like that point.
Slow poison. Like, what ails Uganda? And they know what's a slow poison.
Wow. More of fear of the unknown.
Yes, fear. That's why I said Mohammed Gibral, fear. The river, remember the journey it has traveled, and it wonders this big thing. How will I enter here? What will I become? Not for not knowing it'll be the ocean.
But I think when he looks at the things that he has done,
yes,
you can understand why he's scared.
That's, yes.
Look at this guy, the opposition leader whom he's put in prison for Besigye. For the last, like, he's committed so many human rights violations that I think when he thinks about it, I don't think he has even peace. I don't think he has peace. So he's hoping perhaps he'll just die in power, and then his son Muhoozi will just have to deal with everything. I don't think he has peace either. And maybe Ugandans need to find a way to assure him of safe passage wherever it is he will go, so they can take over. Can you imagine 40 years? These are how many generations?
You see, the people who are voting today, no other president.
They don't know just how good it is.
They can't even imagine. Because when you grew up, if you had just found this guy called Museveni until the end of the day. Today, you're voting, you just see Museveni with that yellow and a hat and a cowboy hat. Crazy people.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the prayers we have, if we are remembering Ugandans today, one of the prayers we have to say for them is, God, show Ugandans just how good it can get. If they knew just how good it can get, you know, then, you know, it would really work for them. If, I don't know how else, you know.
Ugandans really know what can happen. The problem is that when you are ruled by a military state, the power becomes, you see, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
And Museveni is absolute power, has corrupted the system absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no help out of it. But Dr. C, you have another story you're telling us. Schools.
Yes, yes. It's very, very interesting, a story that has gripped all the Kenyans. And when I think about it, when I grew up, I never had to think about it. It's about national schools and local schools, about use of resources, and about kila mtu
Asome kwao.
asome kwao. So let me put it in context. The former Vice President, Gachagua, says that, you know, Central Kenya has in Mount Kenya, let me say Mount Kenya, no, is this the same as Central? Has invested in schools a lot. And he says that other regions, and he specifically has pointed out Garissa, Marsabit, those sides of Kenya where they've not developed, and to be fair, even other areas where they've not invested in the schools. And he's like, why are children from Mount Kenya being sent to other less developed schools? And while the children from these other less developed areas, why are they being brought to Mount Kenya? It's because, and he says that he justifies this by saying that the members of parliament or the political leaders from those areas are not using the money properly to invest in schools. Now, the leaders in these other areas, which is Mount Kenya, are using the money to actually invest in schools. And now this population that is not holding their leaders accountable, he argues that they should then, if you're not willing to hold your political leader accountable, then stay in that school. You stay in that school. So let me start by saying, that yes and no, I agree with him.
I know you agree.
I know I'll agree with him.
Yes.
But on another level, I will say there are some areas that are so disadvantaged that honestly, have you ever been to Garissa?
Yes, once.
Chalbi Desert. Have you been to those areas? Oh my God, the last time I was there, which is very many years ago when I worked for the EU, I came back and I said, we need an affirmative action. These children cannot go, like, you know, the next day you don't even know whether there'll be school or not. And then you cannot sit the same exam with this child who's had bacon, sausage, chauffeured to school, but you cannot be sitting the same exam and then you say it is fair. But since then, things have changed. Now we have, you know, devolution that has happened, and people need to invest in their schools. So somebody was saying, if you're going to invest your money in Isili, if your political leaders are taking your money in Isili, leave us alone. If somebody who is in Ndijoro, now the people are paying 500 only for school fees.
Day school.
And high school. And some people are being, and on top of it, people are eating chapatis.
Every once a month.
I was in campus the days of dialogue. When we ate chapatis.
It was a big thing, yes.
You were in campus those days?
Yes.
So you know what this means. You know, when I grew up, some families actually ate chapatis once a year. And so chapati is still a big thing for Kenyan families. And there's a school that feeds children chapatis every Friday.
Big thing.
Big thing.
Big
so,
thing.
yeah. So, much as we must say that there are some areas that were politically advantaged, because the money in the early part of Kenya, the first 30 years of our independence, there was inappropriate distribution of resources. So depending on whichever political party your area was aligned to, you'd get the money. Okay? So therefore, I'm like, now that might be The only reason I am for it is because it might be a reason why people are going to hold their political leaders to accountability. Okay, I rest the case. I give you opportunity.
I'll agree with you. I mean, at some point we'll have to ask ourselves the hard questions, you know, away from these political rhetorics and everything. There's a famous school called Garbatula High.
Yes, I know someone who went there.
Yes. It used to be one of those prestigious schools.
It's a national school.
Yes. Yeah. But what happened to it? Negligence. I mean, you can't even send your kid there. They're no longer admitting the number of learners that they are supposed to. This is just one of those examples that some schools. Marsabit High used to be one of those schools that ukisikia umeitwa huko, you'll know that, hey, I'm somewhere there. But now you look at a situation whereby, yes, we'll get the top students from Mandera. They'll come to Mango, they'll come to Alliance, they'll go to Lenana, they'll go to those top schools. What about the rest of the learners who are there? Don't they have a right to also go to school, get good learning facilities, be in like a 4-walled room with proper equipment if they are at all doing their lab practicals? They really deserve that. So we must really ask ourselves some of these hard questions. Where I come from, CEO, when Kibaki took over, that is when something to do with CDF started. That is when we started seeing some of these schools being coming up from where I come from. And depending on the representative that you elected, they'll either focus the whole CDF thing into building schools, or that money will just disappear into people's pockets. And for some places, it really worked. And it's also working up to this point. For them to complain that they've been neglected for a while, when Equalization Fund came in and with devolution and everything, we're expecting that they'll be able to at least uplift their own people. I mean, you just can't be coming to Nairobi every other day, as Gachagua says, and build malls and apartments in South Sea while your people are out there. At this moment, we are having appeals about the drought and the famine out there. They could not even do well for their people. I mean, watu saizi wanatafuta maji.
There's a problem.
It's a problem. So as Dr. Sish says, accountability is a big thing at the end of the day when we come to look at this issue.
You see, I think that there's a point which Gachagua had. But my problem with Gachagua is very basic, is that we cannot politicize schools. We cannot politicize education. Because, and the reason is that if you look at the intake of schools, national schools are only allowed, and this is what Gachagua needed to know, that national schools in Central Province or in Mount Kenya region can take only 15% of students out of the Mount Kenya region. What does that mean? It means if there were 10,000 students, only 15% from the rest of Kenya will come to those national schools in Central or Mount Kenya. 85% is a quota allowed for them in the region they are from. Are you getting me? If you go to Maseno, they admit around 85% of school people from Nyanza. Then they take 15 across the country, 15%. That means around like 2% approach, which is good for us for integration and building of a nation. That's why we have these schools picking people, so that you don't learn in your area only, but you have a better perspective of different cultures, because we are very diverse in our thinking. So a kid from Moyale coming to Nairobi school gets an opportunity to interact, so that he doesn't have that different kind of perspective that these people are like this. So when he goes back to those villages, he says, no. You know, I've grown up with Manu, and he comes from Maasai land, and I've learned that Maasais are not a bad group of people. We lived with 80% of them. So this is what the point Gachagua totally forgot, that we have to integrate this nation. And also these schools have quotas. It is not that we are saying that Central or Mount Kenya has been blocked out completely of admitting people from their area, but they have a higher percentage of people. If you go to Western, you went to Mukumu, Lugulu, these big schools.
Yeah, Butere. I
Butere
personally
girls.
went to Butere girls.
And 85% of Butere comes from Western. There's only 15 which we collect.
Yeah.
Remember, these schools are everywhere. And it means that if you go to people from northern Kenya, probably you'll have only 3 admitted in Mango 2, or 1 in Maseno, or 1 in. So that the numbers are not what the Rigiji is saying. Sometimes we need to dig into the numbers and then we kill the narrative. And that's why I'm saying. Secondly, we cut him some slack by saying that he had a point in saying, you guys need also to develop more schools because now you have resources. You have equalization fund. Since the devolution started, Northern Kenya has gotten 1 trillion shillings.
What do they have to show?
And there's nothing they can show for it.
Silly.
1 trillion.
South Sea.
Oh, South Sea.
Yeah, it's
1
South Sea.
trillion
Yeah.
has been pumped as equalization fund and devolution funds. But we see nothing. They have not invested in education. They've not invested on digging what Manu call wells and so that their animals do not die. So it is not about religion. I've always told people, religion has nothing to do with human value and morals. Because if religion had to do with people's value and morals, then Christians who spend most of their time in the bars and who, you see, it is a problem here. People think that if you are of a certain religion, you are holier than thou and you will do things for your people. And we've realized that even if you follow a certain religion, if you're a thug, you're just a thug. It doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah. But I want to say something,
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah,
I want to say that whichever way we actually look at this thing,
yeah.
Gachagua, with this conversation, has awakened something so practical.
Yes,
And he has brought home this conversation.
yes.
That what is the yardstick we are using to measure the performance of our politicians? And you know, he's talking about school. And I agree with your sentiments, yes. He's done it the wrong way, but he has a point, but it's the wrong way.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because of those quotas. But what is the yardstick we are using? And it's not just about education, it's even about health that was devolved. Now the doctors are up in arms. They want health to be brought back to the national government. Because when you see, I was seeing a level 4 hospital in, was it in Kiambu?
Yeah.
Or where was this?
The Kiambu one was a mess.
The one we saw, was it last week? There was this child literally dying in front there, like there's no bed. So are you, if your governor or your leader is not developing schools, they're not developing hospitals, like these are so basic. So I think he's brought home the conversation, perhaps what we need to be discussing, what is the yardstick we are gonna use to hold our leaders accountable?
I think we need to move the conversation forward. And what Gachagua said, and say, what Ndindi is doing in Kiharu has worked for them. Show us what are you doing for your people.
Yes.
You are an MP, you have a CDF, you have all this. If you say you'll plant grass for your animals, for the people not to die, let us see. You cannot be keeping us waiting for all those years. And you're doing the same thing the same way. It's total madness which is happening in this country.
But you know, once you give them that opportunity, it's also an opportunity for them to eat again. We have seen them doing these benchmarking stories everywhere, you know, like they've always been going to Kiharu. A whole CDF committee from different constituencies just going to Kiharu to see what's happening there. Previously, they used to go to Makueni to see how Professor
Mutula.
Kivuda has been able to harness a few resources and build a factory for his mango farmers. I mean, this is something that was being done around. And you see these people going to Kiharu, it means they love to get stipends, yeah?
Yeah.
These people, they love to waste time doing nothing.
Well, the first part of the show has been very interesting. We talked about Uganda, we talked about Rigiji and his school quarters. So we take a short break. When you come back with more interesting conversations, of course, it's Let's Be Real. welcome back. Of course, it's Let's Be Real, where we unpack for you very interesting conversation. In the first part, we've talked about Uganda and, of course, about what's happening about our secondary schools in Kenya and the big conversation around them. Now, of course, I'm the panel with none other than Dr. C. Samantha Bridle, the lady who makes you go gaga with her very incisive intelligence. Very intelligent. And of course, Manu Ntoyai, the man who is very understanding and really punches without flinking.
Not from below the belt.
Without flinking.
Without blinking.
No
Yes.
blinking. Yeah. Talking about that,
Yes.
there's this lady, she decided to shoot her shot, you know.
Yes.
She's been...
And women now, they shoot their shot.
Yeah, they're out there. They are
Women
very,
shoot their shots.
They're very vigorous in doing this thing. Eh?
Yeah.
They see their prey, they go for it. So this lady decided that, hey, I've been friends with this guy for a while. I've been throwing hints here and there. And it seems this guy is not like understanding what I'm doing. So she decided to take it to the next level. And she shared her feelings on via WhatsApp as they were chatting and everything. So her, in that moment of being vulnerable, she thought like, well and good. Let me do my thing and see how it goes. Apparently, the dude just liked her as a friend, you know, bestie. Not bestie.
Bestie?
No bestie, just bestie. You know,
No,
bestie,
Dr. C,
bestie.
there's a bit difference between bestie and bestie
bestie.
for this generation.
Yeah.
Bestie.
Yeah. You know, bestie is just with friends.
Normal.
Yeah. Then bestie normally ends up with.
Having,
Yeah.
if you
Like we are progressing.
yeah,
Yes,
when
yes.
you're
There's always
broken
something
with your
else.
boyfriend,
Yeah.
you can go to bestie
Yeah.
to
be sorted.
to resort to make.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So the bestie is not boyfriend.
No, it's not boyfriend. It's your friend, but
Okay.
you can give more than friendship.
Can just call him like friends with benefit.
Yeah.
FWB, yeah? That's bestie.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, when you are not getting it from your boyfriend, you get from bestie.
And the boyfriend is there.
The
Yeah,
boyfriend
yeah.
is permanent.
Boyfriend is permanent. So bestie, once in a while you can lean your head on his shoulder and relax for a while and share a few things. You
And
know,
go to
fungua
his
roho.
house and
And bestie knows there's a boyfriend.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you won't
It's
have
only
a
the
problem.
boyfriend who is clueless.
the boyfriend knows you are bestie, but doesn't think that it progresses beyond.
Yeah, it's just friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the story today?
So apparently, after she went all out and revealed her intentions to bestie turned it around and said that it was very bad for her to do that, first of all. Number two, he wasn't even thinking of her in terms of that direction. And this lady, you know, it brought a lot of buzz online because it was shared by bloggers, every other person who's out there, these influencers, they were talking about it. And does it really show where we are at the moment, whereby a man can say no, and also a lady can be just out there and shooting her shots? That's what people are asking.
Dr. C, can a woman shoot her shot? Did you ever shoot your shot? Dr. C,
And
you know, I
they?
know you.
Do
I know
look
you're
like,
bold.
Do I look like the one? Have I ever?
I know you're bold.
Have I ever? Like if I were, so this would be my approach.
Yeah.
My approach is that first of all to recognize that women in the era of empowerment and liberation and freedom, women have, and the girl child has been more emboldened to move forward as they mean and ask for what they want. Okay? But we also must acknowledge that when it comes to matters, relationships, marriages, even just relationships, you find that men are still a little bit more traditional. They want to lead the conversation. They want to be seen to be leading the conversation. And so you have two sides that are completely, they may be moving in the same direction, but parallel, in parallel way. So but this is what I would say for women. Yeah, that don't always assume this man does not know. Most men actually know. But I do acknowledge that even when I was growing up, I remember women had to be found for a man. Men would send out, I'm looking for a wife. Can you find me a good wife? Because, not because maybe the girls were scarce or he doesn't know how to approach, whatever. So it's very easy to assume that the men don't know. I think for a woman, your job is to give enough signals that you may be interested, and it's very easy, and a lot of men know. And for as long as you flirt with everyone you see, you like, whatever, to reach the point of where you can discuss serious things. And I think people should just take it in stride. And this is what I say, and I would encourage women to actually do that. You know why I encourage them to do that? It's because, especially I tell women, when you're planning your life, there are certain things you need to look at. You plan to have children, yes, you can harness the power of science and freeze your eggs. But there are those women who don't want to do that. So move as you mean. Don't let a man at your bestie, and you have these feelings for him, which have locked you from seeing another bestie. Say it as is. Say it as is, get the answer. Be prepared for the answer he will give you. Heal, move on. Keep your eyes on the ball. And the ball is you're looking for a good man who will give you a good sperm, who will be willing to look after his sperm. And while at that, ask him for his assets, to put everything on the table so that you don't get involved with someone who cannot even move forward. So I encourage women to just move on. Don't be scared of the rejection. That is one frog. We move forward. Imagine ladies just do that. Don't be scared. Just ask, tell them what you feel and move on. If he's in love, he won't let you go.
All right.
If he is. Stop the guessing game.
But I don't know, I'll go a bit controversial here, kidogo. The concept of friendship, for men and women is totally different. Rarely will you hear a man say, this is a fake friend. You know, that's a term that is normally used by women. These are fake friends, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Because for men, friendship is always about, it's always about give and take. There's always something that you're getting out of that. And there's always this thing about, you know, that rule. I mean, there are boundaries when you cross. Once you're friends, things will never go back to normal. You might be liking this person just as a normal friend, just bestie, not bestie. You cross that you cross that border, you cross that line, you know that things are never going back to normal. And at the end of the day, would you rather lose this friend because of your 21 seconds of hard work and leisure and pleasure? After that, you're no longer friends. You can no longer chat. You can no longer discuss the things you're discussing.
But at least I'm emotionally free to move forward and find another bestie who will, at the end of the day, eyes on the ball, a good sperm, good healthy children, and he can look after their own.
What about the friendship?
You know, the thing is, once you're, and I'm telling you as a woman, once you have crossed that barrier and you have these feelings for a man who will not even look at you, that friendship of bestie, maybe we'll go. And let me tell you, in my grand old age, now I can tell you, those men, if you ever meet them again, you will become good friends. Yeah, and I'm saying it because I have good friends. You will become good friends. They will acknowledge that you had these feelings and you were bold enough to tell them, and you moved forward. Yes. The problem is now when you start becoming funny, now I don't know what, now you're waging a war against their girlfriends. It is just, move on.
But it's
like, no, you see, you guys have up to 70 years. For women, don't have this time. And I urge women, shoot your shot, move on. At least, Julia, don't wait to be picked.
Shoot your shot for those 10 years, which are more progressive.
Just, be progressive. That you're sitting there waiting to be picked until he says it.
Yesterday, I was on a live, and I realized that the ball has, or the cheese has been moved.
Who moved my cheese?
Completely. Because the women in that forum were very outspoken to a level I was looking back and I'm saying, oh, so this is what happens nowadays.
Yeah.
And I will ask myself that clearly it's no longer man's world. And they told me that, remember, that the women have realized that out of the 1 billion men in the world, 30% of them do not like women. They play for the other team.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then they realized 65% of them are happily married. So they remain with a very small percentage.
Yeah.
And some of them are unemployed.
Oh my God, the pool is even getting smaller and smaller.
So these women told me, if you are a woman, you've removed the married men, you've removed the ones who play for the same team, you've removed the unemployed one, you are remaining with very few high-value men. Why won't you shoot your shot?
Yes.
You understand how the person looked at it? It's saying, it is not that I want to shoot my shot, but the pool is getting smaller because the other people do not fit what I want. They don't have jobs. They are married. They won't satisfy me. So I get a chance to remain with only a few of them. And then out of these 500 let's say 10 million, which are remaining, and we are 1 billion, I have to really work hard to get my high-value man. So there's a fight for high-value men. And that's why high-value men has attraction, or is more women is attracted to high-value men. Because the rest of the men, if you walk in out here, you're asking yourself, do I go and start and, will I feed him first? Will I give him clothes, shelter? But I don't have that money to feed this man. So I'd rather go the other way. Get the small pool, which I can get. And that's what Dr. Z is saying. These women are shooting their shot because of the numbers. The data shows that if you wait, you will not get yours. And that's why you see many women are flocking churches to hope, in hope that they'll find people in there. And others are going to the bars hoping that they'll get hooked up. Because they're looking for someone. They look at you, first of all, how are you spending? So that when you start a conversation with someone, you start with a conversation with someone who can feed, dress, and then you look, you want to see them in a natural habitat. How are they behaving? So when you go to clubs, and people are finding more women in clubs than men because they are trying to see, if I find this Manu guy, does he really fit my bill? Is he a high-value man, or is he another useless guy in the village? Wale tutakaa tukingangana hapa ananiambia sina chakula.
There's also something I saw very interesting. This concept about hit and run.
Yeah.
You know, it was always, especially for millennials, boomers, going back. It was a man.
And
it was a man show. It was a man's show. But now, Gen Z ladies are showing men what we call shege. You know, like they're really showing them dust.
Yes, it's true.
That concept of having your number 2 there, your side chick, and as a man, you know, you'll be feeling that, yeah, now I'm comfortable. I have my girlfriend here. We'll be able to do 3-4 years or something, or maybe start planning for the future. These people, they are not planning for that. They are there for the moment. They're there for the pleasure, for the times, for the good times, the good vibes. And while you're thinking you're getting comfortable, you are settling in, mtu anakuacha mataani.
And no, they tell you are falling out of love.
They won't even tell you. They leave you on read, like blue ticks, and that's it. Yeah? So my fellow millennials are really complaining because you're at that stage whereby you're getting comfortable, alafu umeachwa. You know, Gen Zs, they have really perfected it.
You mean the ladies or the
the ladies.
No, the ladies. I remember.
But honestly, and anyway.
They're good at it.
I remember there's a guy, it's called Kevin, sometimes back. There are some girls who used to go to Westlands. There's these clubs in Westlands. And if they mark you, they pick you. That's why they say nimekumark. Well, they, first of all, they buy you drinks. Then they tell you, when they're leaving, they tell you, we can go together. But who on you, if you're a man, you're allowed to go with that woman to her house. She'll kick you out at 3 a.m.
anakuitia Uber.
Hata haiti. He just says, you know, my father is just about to come.
You know, let me tell you something. Even me, when I was growing up,
Yes.
and even up to now, you think there's very few ladies with one boyfriend.
Dr. See what I say?
That's the reality.
That's the reality. You know, you're only real when you put a finger on it. For as long as I'm still a girlfriend, I'm available. I am available.
There's no loyalty?
No, there's no loyalty. Why would you, like, you're not, if you want me to lock me down, put a ring on it. Let us go, in the absence of that, date as much as you date ladies, just date. Okay. But I didn't say you do the other thing. Just date, get, like leave that. Don't imprison yourself with one man who is not seeing it fit to lock you down, and, you know, by putting a ring on it. But also, back to that conversation, if I remember it well, the lady was shocked with the answer.
Yes.
And because it's like, oh, the man would have been more polite. The way, he should have been more polite. You know what? I prefer men like that who will tell you, no, it's not, whatever, so that you're not hung up later like, I'm just looking for closure. I'm just looking for closure. This man has moved on, he married another wife, whatever, and you're there still looking for closure because, and actually, the most dangerous people are people who do not tell you the truth. People who are just there, you know, keeping you hope, giving you hope, and there's no hope. If there's no hope, tell the truth, cut, move on. Yeah.
All right.
I think it's very interesting that nowadays women are bold enough. They can express themselves and say what they want. It's a move rather than you being tagged along and not knowing where to go. Sometimes I prefer you come and tell me, I don't love you. It's okay. Because now we move into other things. Yeah. So what happened to Natasha, ladies and gentlemen? The lady, beautiful girl.
Okay, I can say that. Natasha, I must say I really like her. Yeah, I like her. She came into prominence in terms of being known because she started her mission online. Yeah, and she more was targeting a lot of Gen Zs, a lot of her church is very progressive. And now apparently she has actually announced that she's moving her church online. And the reasons she gave is because they're having challenges with venue. And a lot of, let me just say, when I went to look into this issue, I'm seeing that 20% of most of the very successful churches globally have a hybrid format. And yeah, this is what I want to say, that after Corona, things changed. I don't know if, I think I've been to like a physical church 3 to 4 times. And I think I'm talking for very many Kenyans.
Sure.
The Catholic Church has an online service. Everybody has an online service. So a lot of people have moved online. So the question, I think what we are discussing today is what is happening to the churches. Me, I must say, from where I am, I must say this is a good move for her. The problem with this country, and I want to address the issue of venue challenge. The problem with this country is that from developers to planning to all, the city has ballooned to a level that you wonder whether there used to be a ministry of physical planning. I don't even know if it is still there and if we're still doing it, because now just take, for example, Go to an area, say like Kitengela or even Rongai. Forget the inner side of the city, you know, the Lavingtons, the Westlands, the Umoja, where maybe there was a bit of Buruburu, there was a bit of, we had social halls.
Yeah.
And the planning was such that there was churches, they thought about, even schools had playgrounds. Now there, what's happening there, somebody has this huge chunk of land, they subdivide. I don't know if there is any law that tells these people you need to have a community area where there'll be a church, there'll be a school, there'll be... Some of those things are not taken into consideration. So you find that there's a big problem when it comes to areas where people can get married in. And yes, it's a problem. Yeah, that imprisons you back to a church.
Yeah.
Or to maybe the Attorney General's office. There's a big problem when it comes to areas where churches can be built.
Yeah.
There's a problem, like just social issues, social amenities, there's a problem with that. So I think a lot of churches may go online, and, and I think there's several advantages.
Yeah.
Before I go there, maybe you guys talk a bit and msisahau kunirushia.
Yeah. So for Kina Natasha, I spoke to somebody who's close to her. The story is actually on the Nairobian. You can read it.
Oh.
Yes, it's there.
Okay, there's another story.
Yeah,
No,
it's around whatever you're talking around. Yeah, yeah. So their main issue was space. You know, they were at Biashara Plaza at the rooftop. Yeah, and one of the issues that they've been having is it has to do with amenities, sanitation, water, and everything. Then coming to look at it, there's the issue of parking for their congregants.
Who drive major cars.
Exactly. They had that issue. And if you've been following her sermons online, there's always been that pay bill, because they've been fundraising to get land. They've been fundraising to get land. This is something that they've been planning to do. And one of the things, if you look at the congregants who follow Reverend Lucy, you see these are young people. And young people, when you look at the kind of churches, the physical churches they go to, they normally have different amenities. There's something like a club in-house, an in-house club, a restaurant, an eating area, place where these people can just chill, relax, a fun zone and everything. So they are looking towards that kind of direction. We know that they've been able to identify the land. They are now looking at things to do with laying the foundation and everything. That's the step where they are at the moment. And one thing I say is that for her, this is really overdue. I mean, it's...
To move online.
Yes, not just online, getting her own place where they can now develop and just develop the other things that they'd wish to. Because, you know, at the moment, the current church is not just the normal building where we used to go and just after the service, you're going home. They're really building a complex whereby they can be able to accommodate other things, other social things. A whole 360 look at the social lives of people. People don't just leave churches nowadays and just go home. People want to go and watch football within the church venue. You know, they want to go and have a good time, just relax, eat, catch up with your friends, family, you know, those kind of things. So I think they are kind of there. And moving online, it's something that they've been doing. It's not something that is new. And yeah, we're just waiting to see where she'll be landing.
I have a story on that.
You have a story?
I have a story, but you speak first.
You see the church in Kenya today is moving away from the old church. The old church was based on the building and where people converged. And also, church has always had changed the faces. The first face of the church was introduction, and people became, and then the Africans realized these churches are too westernized. Then they became with African spirituals, the Corino, the Legio Marias. They started now indigenizing churches. So the church moved to different levels. Then later on, there's something Kenyans call kutendereza came in.
What is kutendereza?
Kutendereza is revival. There was time Kenyans were doing revival in the 80s and 90s. And then the evangelism started. So church has always had a process of changing its face politely. So the only churches which have remained into their natural way, the way they were started, are the Catholics, the Anglicans, and very few others. But remember these other churches, that's why Baptists came, all the CITAMs came up. There's always a church coming up. So the new generation which has come in, because the youth are online, now the Natashas have a lot of people going to their churches because the new generation is identifying with someone who is younger, who is flashy. You remember nowadays, initially women couldn't go to the church without a headgear. Ungaambiwa, Dr. C, you've walked into a church and you don't have a headgear. The dressing was very key. You've seen the other ones who dress the way they dress in the city with long robes. So now this one is giving them freedom, the freedom of attending church. And Dr. C, you are saying that you can sit in a house and don't go to physical church. That freedom is what Kenyans nowadays want. And this church by Lucy Natasha offers exactly what the new generation is looking for. I'm in the comfort of my room, but I'm following service. I want to go to church, but I have a serious hangover. But I don't want to miss listening to the word of God. So I can listen. So there, and those are very many Kenyans doing that. Secondly, what Manu is saying is that these churches have realized, apart from calling the youth to go and sweep the floors and doing all this, the youth want places where they can hang out, put their sort of discos, Christian discos, and listen and dance. I think the youth has moved into, and Natasha has realized this is where this is a generation of online, and let's move on and capture that space. The Teresia Wairimos were evangelists. When people are growing up, people wanted salvation in a different way. People now, the youth do not want salvation the way we know it. They want to be in close relationship with God. The way they look at it, it's really different, the way we view things. And when we are growing up, you want to be Holy filled with Holy Ghost filled. You want to be preaching. You want to, but now these other youth, they're telling you.
They're analyzing everything.
They're analyzing. They're saying, you know, me, I'm cool with my God. So wewe kama unataka kuwa Holy Spirit filled ni yako. But me, I'm cool.
It's a personal relationship.
It's a personal relationship.
Yeah. But you know, what you're saying is very interesting. Like, I know you've traveled a lot through Europe, and you've seen those churches.
Yes.
You go there and you're just filled with this emotion. Like it's when you even hear some of the chants. So I think humanity is changing, and I think we're just experiencing that. Even though I said I have a story.
What's the story?
The story is that when I think I had just finished campus, and I'm Roman Catholic. I'm a very proud Roman Catholic, and so I think all Catholics in my, I think age will tell you, at one point they went to the Protestant church because they used to play all this music and we would dance and dance and dance. Yes.
Cool.
What was missing?
It was cool.
Yes. So there used to be a church. I shall not name them. They used to be in Nyayo Stadium. Nyayo Stadium is the one, those sides after the country, near the country bus station.
No, City Stadium.
City Stadium. They used to be in City Stadium. And we would go, we would dance, and it was Holy Spirit. In fact, I learned most of my Bible there.
I can tell that church.
Yes. Oh my God,
Pastor
I
Don.
cannot believe they're still there. Do you know we fundraised and fundraised and fundraised for chairs and for a land that we were buying somewhere in Langata? It never happened. Let me tell you. I just went back to the Catholic Church, and there is nothing you can tell me about these redeemed churches. Even though, I must say, one of the biggest preachers I follow, and I listen to him a lot anywhere, wherever I'm in the bathroom, nasikia tunaamuka, and even I'm walking to the kitchen, I listen to Miss Joel Austin. Yeah, and I think he has. So I think for Natasha, what am I saying? I'm saying that for Natasha, it gives her the opportunity to reach the world, worldwide, to minister to God's children wherever, however you want to be. And then there are those people who feel ostracized even from churches. And now they can now join and they can be incognito. But also the other thing, what I want to applaud her for is the fact that she can now harness data Now, every member of the church will feel seen and heard because she can harness data. Some of these people you think they are, or you don't think they even follow you. Now, if you can harness that, she can really spread her congregation or her kingdom, or not kingdom, it's only God's kingdom, in whichever way she wants to spread it. But I think so, rather than them paying rent, and I'm sure this place is not cheap, they'd rather use that money for the good and put it in this physical space. But she must always run it as hybrid. Congratulations, Natasha. I follow her on social media.
I find her very interesting, though. She brought
You know,
showbiz to
all
church.
these are God's children. It is not for us to say. But I don't know what it is.
I'm not going to judge.
Things have changed, eh?
Yeah.
For Dr. C being a Catholic, I don't know if you know that there is this famous DJ who is a father who
Oh,
plays
the priest, the one who started to, yes.
I mean, that's the direction the church is now heading towards. And before the whole thing starts, we will always see the Pope coming in, giving his blessings before Sherehe Yanze. And young people are loving it.
Yes.
I mean.
We are truly in the era of, since we are talking about the Bible, so I presume we all know the Bible, we are really truly, and today is Sunday, in the era of enlightenment, where it says, in the last days, there shall be increase in knowledge. And I just like the fact that you're saying this church where the Natasha is going to build, people can even watch football. For a minute, I wanted to ask you, you mean the church has accepted even football is no longer, in my days, there were things that were, you could not just dance to some music, even if it's tabule, that I sang a godly music. Like Muzina is supposed to be
It's a Christian.
It's a Christian song.
Yeah.
But, you know, the church for the longest time never accepted
Muzina,
to the fact that now we are listening to Avinci. Well, may his soul rest in peace. And there's an Avinci priest who is like, he goes to the decks and he
does his stuff.
He does his stuff, and the young people are really coming. So I think it's truly an era of enlightenment. And with that, shall we say good night?
It's good night because, of course, Muzina Kitata, Eri Mwana, Eri Pepe Santuru, in the name of the God, in the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's what it means.
Oh, in nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sanctus.
So, Amen. That's what Muzina is all about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. That's what it
In what language?
In Lingala.
In Lingala. Oh, mine was in Latin.
Yeah, Muzina Kitata, Eri Mwana, Eri Pepe Santuru, Muzina Kitata Zambeu.
In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen. So it has been wonderful hosting you this evening. Of course, Dr. C has become very religious for once.
I'm very religious.
The Manu effect. Emmanuel effect.
Emmanuel effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
God with us.
God is with us.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So your name actually means something.
Yes,
Really?
God with us. So it's been wonderful hosting you this evening. Keep listening and keep actually watching. Let's be real. We come back next week with more interesting conversations.